Hello, hello, hello. Can someone in the comments let me know whether you can hear me and see me? And if it's all okay, we'll get going. Hi, Elvin. Hello, Richard. Hello, Lars. Nice to see you here. Hi, Andrew. Peter's here. Nice to see you, Peter. Elvin's here from Toronto in Canada. Okay, so we've got some early comments. Let's get on with it. Hi, MBT. Beatle Boys here again. Hiya. Hi, and Andy Nichols from Two Legs Podcast is here. Nice to see you. Armin's here from Munich. Martin's here. And Kia's here from the From Me to You channel. Great channel. Please check it out. Kia's a great guy. Daniel's here from Cornwall, down in the southwest of England. Amato Richards, hi there. Mark Ransom, good evening. Where are you from? Is it still afternoon here? Jay is here from Frankfurt. We've got two from Germany on. That's great. Rich is here. Hi everyone. Okay, let's Paul's here from the New Forest in Hampshire in the UK. Matthew is here from Victoria in Australia. Good morning to you, Matthew. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for making the effort to get on. Leisure Sound Records are here. Evening to you. Right. Okay. Let's start the comments and try not to get too far behind. Okay, Lars says, I heard about the story behind the image of the clock on the backside of the cover for Now and Then. Supposedly, it was a clock created. I think it's a real clock, actually. It's a clock that George bought for Olivia in 1997. That's right. Yeah, so real clock. Yeah. Last Yeah, I have. You know what? I haven't had any of none of my swag has arrived. I understand. I think my wife said that Andrew Dixon, when he did his unveiling of the or unboxing of the 12-inch single, he said there was an insert inside, or someone in the comments said there was an insert inside about the clock. So I don't know for sure. I don't know all the details, and I haven't seen Andrew's video myself. But I did see something. Apparently, it was a clock that that George that George bought for Olivia, and she found it some time ago, put it on the mantelpiece, and it was there when Paul called to say that we know that George wasn't happy with the sound on the Now and Then demo, but we're working on it. And Olivia apparently, looking at the clock, said, because it's got Now and Then on it. She said that I'm guessing that this is George's approval. Also, I'd like to say, here in the UK, we've had a podcast series called Eras, which has been on the BBC website, and the last episode 6, sort of dropped yesterday, and they were talking about Now and Then, and Olivia was on there. There was like a soundbite from Olivia where she confirmed that the reason that George wasn't keen to continue with Now and Then was because of the sound on the sound quality of the cassette. He didn't think that it was fixable. He didn't think it was a good enough, quality for them to work on. So it wasn't that he hated the song. It was definitely to do with the sound. That has been confirmed by Olivia Harrison. Lars is saying everyone's obsessed. Lars is obsessed with the clock. The clock is owned by Olivia. And Richard is confirming there that it is a physical clock. Martin says BBC Two last night was brilliant. I haven't seen it yet because I was out last night, so I haven't seen it yet. But I will catch up with it. Again, Martin is saying, Ringo's saying tomorrow never knows. Then staring to Cam, that is brilliant. Okay. Armin says Keir did a great video about the 80s up to Rolling Stones records this week. I think I did see the thumbnail for that. I haven't watched the video yet, but basically Keir on his channel From Me to You did a video defending the Rolling Stones albums from the 80s going forward. Yeah, do check out that video and check out Keir's channel because it is a great channel, and Keir's is a great guy from Nottingham in the UK. And Keir says, "Thank you very much, Armin." Martin saying, "I've never seen the 64 interview where George asks a female reporter to come to Greece with him. Brilliantly. Presumably this was on the BBC thing last night. As I say, I haven't seen it yet." Jen Shag says, "Love your video on Now and Then. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that comment." Julia, she's here. Julia's here again. Lovely to have you here, Julia. Thanks for joining. Beatle Dave is here. Another great channel, Beatle Dave's channel. Check him out. Peter Cozy, an observation, not criticism. It's a great video. There has been a really good brief clip of Paul with Giles Martin, around 2 minutes. Yeah, that's the bit in the where they're recording the strings in LA. I think that's the bit you're talking about. Would have been nice touch to see George Martin between them. Yeah, obviously he wasn't there. Right. Nick's here. Hi, Nick. Glad to be here again with people of my tribe. Yes, this is something that I wanted to say. In which I did say in the video of the documentary. I just love how how everything this week has kind of united most people. I just love the fact of all these Beatles fans from wherever you are in the world, all tuning in to the same thing at the same time. We are all connected by the Beatles, and that's a really lovely thing and a really, really positive thing in today's climate. And also, I also sort of talked about mentioned in that video the camaraderie between all the Beatles YouTubers as well, and the friendship that brings. Something else that the Beatles have been good enough to give us. It really is a gift. Martin says the video should have been released with the single. The vid was great in truth and improved the song for me. Yeah, Martin wasn't keen on the song on first hearing, which is absolutely entitled not to like it. Of course, yeah. I think it was odd that they didn't release the video at the same time. I think that they've kind of done a deliberate thing by sort of doing the making of documentary, then releasing the single, then releasing the video. It's kind of built the excitement as the week has gone on, and I guess that's the reason, but quite strange that they did it like that. MBT says, watch Matthew Street's interview about the clock. He has got some good details on its story. Thanks, MBT. Obviously, Matthew Street, one of my YouTube friends, great guy with a great channel. Check him out as well if you don't subscribe to Matthew's channel. Beatboy says, about the clock, blow me down. If the pic of the Beatles came with it, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it. Yeah, everyone's not very happy about the cover of the single, and it does seem a little bit strange. And I've heard the thing about the diagonal lines going across, kind of, symbolising the balconies at Manchester Square, on the Please Please Me cover and the Get Back cover, and ultimately the red and blue cover. I just think it's a little bit. I mean, it's obviously subtle, but if they are supposed to symbolise those balconies, why not just put those pictures? Put an old picture on the balcony, a young picture on the balcony above them. You've got your now and then job done. Surely it would have been simple. Julia has received her shipping notices from Apple. I still haven't heard a word on all the things that I ordered. I haven't even had a distribution notice yet. Daniel says the insert is on the 7-inch too. That's good. Music Sound Gear says, maybe just me, but I thought the video was cringeworthy. From the computer generated John in the beginning to the hello goodbye Paul and George pretending to take off their shirts. It's just fun. Honestly, I'm sorry you didn't like it, but I can't really understand anyone not liking that. I don't think that the John looking over the sunset was computer generated. I think I've seen that on a video, and I think I'm not absolutely sure, but I think that footage was taken in Japan, and I got a feeling it might be on the Yoko Ono Now and Then video from the sort of mid-80s. I can't really remember, but I don't understand why you might be upset about computer generated John. How every video by every artist has got video effects and computer generated effects on them, and have done for decades. This is totally normal for music videos, so I don't understand why people would pick that up as a criticism. Sorry. Lars says, fantastic story. Still talking about the clock. Julia saying Target and Walmart arriving on Tuesday. Richard agrees with Martin, and Martin says thanks. Andy Nichols from Two Legs Podcast said, listen, this morning era's great recap. Yeah, he heard the BBC podcast eras that I was talking about earlier, with where Olivia said about the clock. Music Soundgo's got his 7-inch from Target. Martin's saying Ringo on Blue Peter promoting his furniture. This was I can't remember what it was called. Ringo something or other from the mid 70s. I don't remember it actually happening. I was too young, but he had a partner, and he had a weird sort of modern furniture company in the 70s. I do remember reading about it. Matthew says, my swag is coming from the UK as it's cheaper than buying from Australia, so I'm waiting patiently for it to arrive. Hope it arrives soon, Matthew. I want my stuff as well. Richard says, Tone, I haven't got any of my swag either. Hopefully earlier this week. Secret Messages Around the World says, what mix do you expect the most on the red and blue remixes? Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing what they've done with I Am the Walrus, because that is quite muddy in places. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that sort of demixed and remixed. But I think basically the big selling point always for me when they do these box sets is the actual remix of the actual album, because I just love having something different to listen to. And although I really like the sort of the outtakes and the book, I tend not to return to them that often after the initial excitement of getting them and listening to them and reading the book and that sort of stuff. I don't return to them that often. I never find myself thinking, oh, I really fancy hearing, the strings only on Eleanor Rigby. I never find myself saying that, but I do like to listen to the remixes. So basically, with the Red album, I'm quite a big sort of audio guy, and I don't like the stereo panning on the stereo records that we've had to put up for years, where you've got the music on one side and the vocals on the other. So I'm quite looking forward to hearing everything that has been improved by that. So you've got the vocals in the middle and the drums in the middle, just like it should be if you were watching the band playing live in front of you. You don't the remixing of Love Me Do doesn't benefit from that as much, because we've always had even though it's been on a stereo record, it's always been the mono mix. And of course, mono, when you listen to a mono mix on a stereo hi-fi, you're hearing exactly the same thing in each speaker, so everything sounds in the middle anyway. Afternoon, Steve. You've been looking forward to it. Good. So have I. Always love speaking to you lot. It's always great fun, and this is only the fourth live stream that I've done, and they've all been really good and really enjoyable to do. So love chatting to you all. So thank you everyone who's here. Peter says, think my single vinyl will be posted out with the red and blue stuff. There's only one lot of post paid. Yes, they'll probably. Yes, that sounds pretty likely. Eddie says, hi, Tone. Eddie, nice to have you here. Same here, Tone. No swag either. Martin says this is special. This is a special time for us? We're never going to get this again. We're never going to get this sort of, these three things that we've had, day after day for three days this week. A brand new single, a video and a documentary as well. We're not going to get this, although we probably said that when we got Get Back, where we had three consecutive days of stuff. I just wanted to also say that I'm really sorry that I haven't got back to everyone's comments, especially on the ones for the music video. I've been trying to catch up. 3 videos in 3 days, and you have just you've excelled yourself with the comments. There have been absolutely loads and loads of comments, and I just haven't been able to keep up with them as I normally have, because of having to make the 3 videos in 3 days. But I will endeavor to catch up with you on the comments. But thank you everyone that has left comments on the videos. There has been absolutely loads. I think there was 300 plus on the video about the actual song. I'm just going to take a sip of drink because I've already talked too much. Nick says, "What is the BBC Two thing?" Okay, so for you guys that are outside of the UK, BBC Two had a Beatles night last night, and I think if you've got access to iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, you should be able to watch it. Now, if you're outside the UK, you might need to have a VPN and log on to a UK server, so the iPlayer thinks that you're in the UK if you want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but Martin has, and he said it was fantastic, and I will take his word for it, and I will be watching that this week. So if you can get onto iPlayer, you should be able to see all the stuff that was on BBC Two. Stevie says, "Hi, Tone." Hi, Stevie. Harry Dance says, "What do you think about the CD single being announced so late? Last minute panic." Honestly, I don't know. I'd love to think that Apple have have read all the comments, probably not on my on my channel, because my channel's quite small, but some of the the big Beatles channels, like Joe or Andrew, or some of the podcasts and stuff like that, where people moaned about there not being a CD single, because if you are a CD only user, and there are loads of people that don't buy vinyl still and only listen on CD, the only way you could get Now and Then was to buy the Blue album, which was if you didn't want the Blue album, then that was a bit cheeky, I think. But if they are reacting to people's dissatisfaction about there not being a CD, then I find it really surprising that they were able to manage to produce the CDs and distribute the CDs in time for the release date, because some people have got their CDs already. The cynical me thinks that this was deliberate, to kind of get people to buy the Blue album, for CD users to buy the Blue album. I really hope that isn't the case, but it does seem that is probably the scenario that we're talking about. Hi, Terry's here. Hope you're having a fab weekend, my friend. I am. I hope you're having one too. Yeah, it's been it's been a great week, and yeah, great weekend. Kia says, "Thanks, Tone. Stop bloody plugging me." Okay, don't bother to go to Kia's channel. From me to you, it's absolute rubbish. I'm just joking. Dennis says, "Hi, Tone. What do you think of the sound quality and the stereo separation of the B-side Love Me Do?" I've kind of said something about that in my video about it, but so I don't think that Love Me Do is one of the tracks that will benefit most from the demixing and remixing process, because it's a mono recording, and I believe that the master tape of the 7-inch single has gone, and their starting point was a very good condition actual single. I think I read that somewhere. That is where that come from. Now, the actual, if you actually listen to it, I think the harmonica comes through great. You can hear the hand claps really weird, because I also listened to it in well, I played the Dolby Atmos mix, but I don't, my AV processor, my AV amp doesn't process Dolby Atmos, and I don't have Dolby Atmos, the sort of speakers in the ceiling and that sort of stuff. I don't have that, so it kind of downgrades it to 5.1 Dolby Digital. But the hand claps were really weird, because you kind of hear them in the FX speakers sort of behind you on either side. I thought someone said in one of the comments that They thought Ringo's snare sounded a bit muddy. I didn't think that. I thought it was coming through loud and clear, and they also didn't like the bass, which I thought was really good as well. So I like the mix, but I don't think that that song is going to benefit as much as some of the others. Rob says, just popping in to say hello. Hi, Rob. I do that now and then. Yeah. See what you did there. See what you did there. Andrew says, never seen so many people in tears for good reason in the last 3 days. Yes, it has been emotional, for sure, for sure. Laura says, we need the Beatles to rescue us again. Yeah, well, hope, what the world needs now is a new Beatles song in this particular climate with everything that is going on at the moment. And, we've got a Beatles song, and that's something at least. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think the Beatles ever really changed the world, but they had a good go at it. Martin says, "Great hearing points of view from this side of the water too." That's the UK side. Julius says, by the way, I bought a Mint Plus vinyl of Driving Rain a couple of days ago, played a flat $100. That is a good price for Driving Rain. I've noticed that the price of Driving Rain is dropping. It was at one point around 200 quid, quite hard to get on vinyl because it does come from the CD era. But great that you've managed to get one in great nick, Julia. She's always buying stuff, that girl. Always buying stuff. It said, has anyone already received Now and Then CD single? I ordered at JPC Germany and I've not yet got a shipping confirmation. I guess that is mostly relevant to people who are in Germany. If someone can answer that for Armin. I did see that Andrew Dixon has already got his CD single and has done a video of it. But I don't know if anyone else has got theirs yet. Keir says, I haven't actually listened to the Love Me Do remix yet. Go and have a listen. Go and have a listen. Be interested to know what you think here. Harry said, I noticed in the documentary that Macca says it's probably the last Beatles single. Yes, I heard that as well. I can't see them doing another one. I can't see them doing another one. Leisure Sound Record says, look out for an excellent video of Now and Then reproduced as a 60s Beatles song. Okay. I don't really listen to these sort of AI versions of songs, I must admit. Nick says, I like the staggered release, kept the excitement going. Yeah, I think I did as well. Terry, in answer to Armin, says, hi, Armin, my CD single arrived yesterday in the post. Terry is in the UK. There's a little bit of extra information, Armin. Nathan said the short documentary made out that George was into it. It didn't make out. I think that George was perfectly okay to work on this song, and he seemed very happy in the video footage of the bits of him playing along with Paul. And as I said, Olivia has confirmed that the reason that he didn't want to continue with it was because of the quality of the cassette demo. He didn't think it would be good enough, or they could make it good enough to release. Stevie says, personally, the video of Now and Then single is up there with the very best I've seen. Hats off to Peter Jackson. Yeah, here. Peter Jackson is an absolute genius. I really hope that this the association with Peter Jackson continues. It does seem, it seemed from from this podcast that we had yesterday in the UK, where Peter Jackson was interviewed. You know, he was asking the Beatles, you know, is there anything else that I can do for you? So he is obviously keen to work with the Beatles. I understand that the MAL technology is exclusively available to the Beatles at the moment. So that is good news as well. I'd love to see him get involved with something else. The video, you know, I think it's a toss-up really between that video and Free as a Bird, really, as maybe the best Beatles video of all time. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know, but I really I loved the video. Yes, it was cheesy. It needed to be cheesy, in my opinion. And you know, cheesy's all right. Cheesy's all right. If it gives pleasure, who cares? Who cares whether it's cheesy? I'm not kind of critiquing this from, you know, like a film point of view, you know, as a movie critic or something. I'm critiquing it as a fan, and I'm going to tell you that I was absolutely delighted with the video. I just loved it because I thought it brought more meaning to the song. I think it enhanced the song. I thought that it had the right balance of emotionalness, if that's a word. I don't think it is, but also fun as well, because the Beatles were about fun, and that came through in the video. I just really loved it. Reactive Armor says, now and then is a nice little appetizer for the Wings 1977 to 81 archive set that is bound to be released soon. I really hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I mean, it is perfectly lined up to be the equivalent of the 71 to 73 box, because you could have your 2 studio albums, London Town and Back to the Egg, and of course you can have the Wings over the UK as a bonus thing for the box. I really hope that happens soon, but obviously there is no news. But as we know, you know, we don't get any news from Camp Macca or Camp Beatles until it actually happens. You know, you know how it is with Paul. You know, probably even more so than the Beatles. You don't know about anything that's coming until it's actually been, you know, announced. You know, he surprised us with the McCartney 1, 2, 3 box. We didn't know that was coming. We didn't know the CD singles box was coming. That was a surprise. So, you know, these things just come when they come, and we just have to hope that they come. One thing that I will say, I don't know if you saw the interview that I did with Boyan and Jason from Australia, who went to see Paul on the Australian tour. And with Boyan, I asked him to go through the tour book for he bought like the Got Back program, and I asked him to go through the book to see whether the page about the archive releases was still in there, because the tour book has changed from the one that was used on the US leg of the tour. There's lots of other stuff in it, so they have changed it. They've added things about Glastonbury. There's pages about the CD singles box, the Eye of the Storm book, and all that sort of thing. So if the page about the archive collection was still in there, and it still said at the bottom, watch out for new archive editions coming soon. And as they have changed the book, if the archive edition, the archive collection was dead, then they had the perfect opportunity to take that page out of the tour program, but they didn't. They left it in. So I'm I'm always optimistic about this, and I'm assuming the fact that they left the page in there, that means that the archive collection is not dead yet. Let's hope so. Carl Hand says, Tone, come to New York Fest this year. You know what? I would love to come to the fest. Not, so much to, to buy all the stuff and, to hear the sort of, the sessions and all that sort of thing. And certainly not to see all the tribute bands, but just kind of to meet, all my friends, all the other YouTubers that will be there that I talk to from the other side of the pond. I've made some really great friends with other YouTubers, so I would love to meet up with those guys, and also viewers as well that will be there. Love to speak to you in person, but and I did think about it, but it's physically not possible for me to be there because I am going to be in Brazil when that is on, because I'm going to my niece's wedding who's getting married in Brazil. So I'm going to be in Brazil when the fest is on, and I know what's going to happen. Paul is touring Brazil, the next couple of weeks or something, and when I'm in Brazil, he's going to be touring the UK. I know it. I can see it's happening. I can see it happening. I hope not, but I can see it. I'll be in Brazil and he'll be over here doing gigs and I'll be missing them. Right. Okay. Nick says, I don't like the cover of the single, but was surprised that the younger generation seem to dig it. Do they? I don't like the cover either. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. I think there's a little bit of, art snobbery being spoken about it, but I can't understand that they could so easily have symbolized now and then with an old picture and a newer picture, or something really, really simple that would be more interesting than what we actually got. Martin says the video is a bit wacky, but that's how they were. George's videos in the 70s are brilliantly off the wall. Yes, the videos for things like this song and Crackerbox Palace, obviously we know that George was very into his Monty Python, and his videos of that sort of era are very Python-esque, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, his videos are very, very funny generally from that period. I agree. Harry says, I read about this new single. Single. Lennon has died. Okay. Yeah, sorry to break the news to you. Matthew says, shed a tear or three when I watched the video for the first time. Fantastic video. Fits the song perfectly. Totally agree. Keir says, the cover of the single is dull, and my girlfriend said the designer have a lazy day. Ha ha. Yeah, it does. They've obviously gone. I think the guy that did it is the same guy that designed the cover of McCartney 3, which I really like. So he obviously, his art is very simple and very modern. I agree with you and your girlfriend, Keir. Andrew says, my local HMV told me that all CD singles were coming from one distributor and there was an embargo on sending them out until the premiere of the song had taken place. Mine has been dispatched. Okay. Yeah, no, I understand why they're keeping it. They want people to stream it first and then get the things. And I hope yours arrives very soon, as I do mine. Harry says, my CD single arrived yesterday. No London Post nonsense for me. Okay. I haven't actually ordered the CD single. Well, I have ordered it, but I've ordered it for my friend Nick, who is in the US, who is going to be coming over hopefully as soon as I'm going to give it to him then. But I ordered 3 7-inch singles, and 12-inch single all on coloured vinyl, and I thought that was enough. And I've got the Blue album, which has got, you know, a digital version of the Now and Then song. So I didn't think that I needed the CD. So I ordered one for Nick, but I haven't ordered one for myself. Oh, and here is Nick. Jackson has confirmed that there is no CGI in the video. The Lennon sunset already existed. Told ya. Told ya. Thanks for confirming, Nick. I knew I'd seen that. I knew I'd seen that before. But it's isn't it a great sunset? What a sunset. Nathan says, oh, okay. I'm going to try not to put up comments where you're talking amongst yourselves, but I don't read them before. I need to get into the habit of reading the comments before I put it up. So I you know, if you want to, of course, you know, you talk amongst yourselves, but I won't, you know, put your conversations up on the screen. Reactive Armor says the cover for Now and Then could have shown John from 1977, George from 1995, and Paul and Ringo from 2023 on the balcony. That would have been great. That would have been great. That would have been great. I agree. Ollie's here. Afternoon, Ollie. Nice to have you here. Armin says, I assume the sunset scene with John was taken on his sailing trip to the Bermudas. Possibly. I got a feeling it was in Japan. I don't know why I've got that in my head, but I knew that I'd seen it before in one of those videos that we have had over the years, you know, or DVDs or whatever it is. I can't remember which one, but I'm sure that I've seen it before. I thought it was Japan. It could be Bermuda. I think I said that in the video about my video about the video. It's either Japan or Bermuda. I can remember having seen some homemade film on it. Yeah, me too. Me too. Charles Duncan is here. Hiya, Charles. Like I said before, the clock cover is my favourite front cover. Rubbish front cover is now the back. Harry says, I've worked out where the backing vocals from Here, There and Everywhere are now in the new track. They are there around the middle. Okay, I'm going to try when I get my physical copy. I'm going to listen to it very, very closely indeed, and try and pick them out. I could pick out the because vocals. You hear those very clearly over the second half of Paul's guitar solo in the middle of the song. I haven't picked out Here, There and Everywhere or the Eleanor Rigby vocals either. So I'm going to be trying to find them. If anyone knows where they are, put them down in the chat. Beatle Boy says, Ken Michaels from Things We Said Today podcast went to a listening do that Apple gave and said the CEO at Apple said they have the next 4 to 5 years mapped out as what they are going to do. Well, that is very pleasing. Let's hope that is true. I mean, that's kind of what we are kind of expecting, that there will be one every year. We just don't know what order they're going to be in. You know, everyone thought that we were going to get Rubber Soul this year. I wasn't sure about that. As I said before, I said that I thought that they might this year do a 60th anniversary box and include Please Please Me and With the Beatles rather than go to Rubber Soul. But neither of those things were right. You know, let's say I thought they might do it. I thought that the 60th anniversary of, you know, Please Please Me and With the Beatles was worth celebrating. Apple thought otherwise. They thought that the 50th anniversary of the Red and Blue was more important. But yeah, you know, if they have got, you know, because we criticize, well, I certainly do criticize Apple quite a lot. You know, if they have got it mapped out, then that's good news. Wonder what it'll be. David Barron says, hi, David. Ringo appearing on Blue Peter was 1971 and can be found on the BBC archive page. Thank you for that. Matthew says his swag is in the post, like your road tax, right? Dave says his single came yesterday. Or Dave's in Derbyshire, in the UK, which is probably about 150 miles from me, and he's got his, but there's no sign of mine yet. Julia says, I think Peter Jackson is working on some Sergeant Pepper video. He certainly did a great job with the Sergeant Pepper clip in the new video. Maybe something more later. Maybe. I heard that he might be working on that. I think there was something like about 8 hours of footage that he had of the Beatles recording the White Album, and possibly some stuff of them in India. I don't know if that's true or not. We will see. Rich says, I love how positive you are, Tone. Thanks very much. I try to be. I saw a video by someone else who was negative about Now and Then. A right depressing blue meanie. Thank the Walrus for Tone. Well, look, you know, I do try and be positive. You know, I'm here because I love the Beatles. I want everything to be fantastic, but I do accept that everything is not fantastic, and I feel that I do. You know, if I don't like something, I do say that I don't like it. I've done that, you know, on the reviews of, you know, albums that I've done. And, you know, admittedly, you know, I'm late to the game as a YouTuber, so I've got a lot of catching up to do as far as reviewing albums goes. But the ones that I've done, you know, I'm quite happy to say, you know, I don't think this track is very good. And, you know, on my reviews, I always, you know, mark, you know, I give each song a score out of 10. And I'm not averse to giving something a 4 or a 5, or, you know, even a 2 in the case of Maggie May. But you know, but I do try and be positive, because I think people kind of want you know, want us to be upbeat about the Beatles and be excited as they are. And I think that, you know, when you get negative comments, and I totally understand, everybody's right to not like something, or you know, it not be a favorite, or have an opinion, and everyone has the right to have you know, to not like something. And you know, and they are more than welcome to put those views in the comments on my videos. You know, I'm happy for that, providing they're not being, you know, overtly mean, or, you know, or just making stuff up to fit their agenda, and that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff gets scrubbed. But you know, if people want to say, you know, they don't like a record, it's fine. But, you know, being positive is kind of my thing. Right, Nick says, hello, goodbye footage. Where are they? Where they are removing the symbols, and 2023 Paul playing, but yes, I know, yes, winks at the camera, chuckles. I love this part of the video so much. Yeah, and so do I. And I don't know where can't remember where that has come from. And I tried to Google it and tried to include that I liked that bit in my my video. I loved it. But they're obviously, from the clothes that that John and Paul are wearing, it's from Magical Mystery Tour. Paul's got that sort of like that knitted sort of tank top thing on, and it's somewhere around the Magical Mystery Tour filming. I don't know if it's an outtake from it or it's from the film. It's so long since I've seen the film, but if anyone knows where that bit of footage comes from, as we now know that it's not CGI generated, I'd love to know. But I loved that bit as well, because also young Ringo was also sort of, you know, banging on the kick drum with his sticks as well in that scene, while old Ringo played the drums. I loved that bit as well. Keir said, I was lucky. I got mine Thursday. Blue vinyl, black vinyl, tape, cassette. I must have the CD too, which I will order. I'm annoyed that I've had to pay another $2.50 post and packing. Yeah. Well, obviously, if you've got Amazon Prime, you know, you can get your postage is free. That's what I do, because I feel that I trouble Amazon enough for their products to warrant paying for Amazon Prime to get it next day. But I haven't ordered anything from Amazon Prime on this release. All my stuff has come from Beatles.com, and I haven't got a thing yet, which is really disappointing. Hopefully tomorrow. Richard said, I was talking to Charles. Paul Cassidy says, has anyone else heard the voice speaking at the end of Now and Then? If you turn it up, turn up the volume. It sounds like John saying that's good. I did do that. I heard it. I thought it was Ringo. I have to admit, I thought it was Ringo, and I thought he said "good one." That was all I could make out, but it's very, very faint. Bill Dave says, I think Ringo's company was called Ringo Robin. That is absolutely spot on, Dave. That is exactly what it was called. I remember now. Thanks for that. Harry said, convinced the same treatment is coming to anthologies with complete remixes. I don't, as you know, I like to be positive. Don't like to disappoint anyone. I don't think that. I don't really think unless there is going to be a cleanup of the anthology, video, the documentary. I can't really see them doing anything with the soundtrack. Now, look, maybe they would if they did do a cleanup and that started streaming on one of the platforms again, with cleaned up footage. I could see that they would do Free as a Bird and Real Love remix, and maybe put out the anthologies again with cleaned up, Free as a Bird and Real Love, and they might even add Now and Then to it as well. But I can't see them remixing. The actual stuff that's on the anthology, or most of it, because it's outtakes and demos, and you don't tend to remix outtakes and demos. So they are what they are, and I mean, I might be wrong. I hope that they do, but I don't think that is going to be very high on the priority list at the moment. I'm sorry, that's just how I think. I'm just guessing, the same as everyone else is. I've no inside information, but for me, it makes less sense than putting out the remainder of the, putting out a box set remainder of the rest of the of the studio albums. Ruth Ann says, I would have loved if they had expanded the Red and Blue albums, but also put together the Green, the Beatles 1970 to 1974, and the Yellow 75 to 2003. That would be a fantastic thing. I think that the 70 to 74 would be a possibility, but then you get this situation where you have to get all four camps agreeing to how many songs each Beatle gets on the Green album. That could be problematic. We've seen it done before, because we saw the Best of George Harrison had Beatles songs on it and solo George songs on it as well. So it has been done. So it's not out of the question. And the reason why I said 70 to 74, because that was the Apple period. So they were all under the same umbrella at that time. The other one becomes much more difficult because they're all on different labels. It's very complicated. I'm sure there's loads of legal implications. But I think that the Red and the Blue album are essentially Beatles albums, and they should probably stay that way. I'm still not happy about them still calling the Blue album 67 to 70 and having Now and Then on it. It just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, why not call it the Blue album? Because everybody calls it the Blue album. No one says, I'm just going to put on 1962 to 1966. They don't say that. They say, I'm going to put the Red album on. They don't say that. No one calls it that anymore. It's the red and the blue, and that's it. And they should have just called it the red and the blue, and that would have got over the problem of having Now and Then on an album that's supposed to finish in 1970. It's crazy, crazy stuff. If you can hear noises on my thing, people keep sending me emails and it keeps popping up on my screen. Thank you everyone that's sending me emails, and I will get to them later. Charles is talking to Richard. Larry's here, the Canadian Stud Muffin, great channel. If you don't know Larry, please check out his channel. It's a really great channel. I'm sorry, Larry, with everything that's been going on, I haven't had a chance to see any of your stuff that you've done for Now and Then, but I will catch up on it hopefully this week. But sorry, I haven't got to it. But I did manage to catch your stream with Matthew Street, which was brilliant. The young lad that you had on, I'm not sure how you managed to hold it together. You are an absolute pro. You both are. Well done. But it was very funny. It was very, very funny. Right. Larry says the Beatles Now and Then video was amazing. Hoping I get the red and blue albums from Amazon on the 10th. Yeah, it was amazing. Hope you get your stuff soon, Larry. Right. Armin says, let's briefly discuss the Rubber Soul special deluxe edition. When can we start to complain about the cards? Nice one, Armin. Yeah, well, let's start now. We can start by saying, well, it's not here for a start. That's the first thing we can complain about. Then we can complain, that there's no Blu-ray in it because we have to hear things in Dolby Atmos, even though we've been listening to records in stereo for 40 years. But now it's a deal breaker that there's no Blu-ray. We can complain about that if you like. We can talk about the outtakes that aren't going to be on it. But yeah, take your point. Very, very good, Armin. Nice one. Peter says, think you can be forgiven about response to comments this week. Yeah, thank you. It's just been so many of them. I do like to get back to people because I just think, if people take the time to leave a comment, then I need to take the time to respond to it if there's something to say. I do like talking to you, and I think that it kind of makes the channel feel a bit like a community in some sort of way. So I do like doing it, but it has just been impossible to catch up with everything. I think I've done the video on the documentary, the 12-minute documentary, and I think I've done all the comments on the song, but I've done virtually nothing on the video about the video. But I will get to it. Kevin says, greeting from Japan. Hi Kevin. Thanks for joining us. We are still waiting for the Japanese edition of Now and Then vinyls and CDs to arrive next week. It comes with a special Japanese edition poster. Oh, that's great. Well, great news about the poster. Not such great news about the delivery. I hope it all comes soon, and I hope the poster is great. Right now, Richard says, "Oh, that's another conversation." Le Cedric Vank, is that Vank Lemossi? You know. I'm struggling. Hello from France. Hello from England. Back to you. It was a pleasure to excitement of the Now and Then release on your channel. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching my stuff. I'm used to your accent, so I understand almost everything. Don't bother to pronounce. I should have read it before. I'm really sorry. But thank you for being here, and welcome to you from France, and thank you for watching my videos, and I'm glad you liked it. Henry is here. Love the part in the video where it shows young Paul right next to old Paul. Yes, I did as well. And I also loved it when they did the same with Ringo, with them both sort of drumming together. That was brilliant and very cleverly done because they were perfectly in time with each other as well, which was really good. Of course, they were in time with each other. Right. Okay. Ruthann says, "Oh, Richard, can you imagine the incredible life?" Yeah. Okay. We're still talking about the Green and the Yellow album. Yeah, be fantastic. You know what? Yeah, but how it would be so hard. It would be so hard. You know, when you think about when you think about just take 1970. Just take 1970 for a start. You've got all the stuff from All Things Was Past. You've got John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. You've got McCartney. The three albums, and you've also got Instant Karma as a standalone single, which would have to be included. So there's so much stuff, so much brilliant stuff there. It'd be impossible. It's so difficult to whittle that down to 12 tracks. You'd be leaving off some really good stuff, which maybe wouldn't represent those albums, as well as they could be represented. But yeah, of course it would. Of course it would be great. But we've got the whole album, so we're not missing out on anything. Richard said, "Would it be solo stuff in your vision?" I think this is still talking about that album. Yeah. So I think that Ruth Ann is talking about including solo stuff on the on the Green and Yellow albums from all four Beatles. Keir says, "You can never keep up with everyone's comments, Tone. Your channel has grown so well that you've got an army of followers now, and it's great entertainment. I dig it. If you don't reply, I'm not offended." Thank you, Keir. Yeah, it has grown, which I'm really, really happy about. I didn't even have time to do, kind of a video, celebrating reaching 3,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mind blowing for me. I can't believe that we've managed to get that, and I just had so much support from you guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. I see the same names coming up on the videos time and time again, and there's been a lot of people that have subscribed to the channel during the whole now and then thing, the whole lead up to it and stuff. And so if any of you new guys are here, welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the content. But really do appreciate you guys, and I hope no one gets offended if I don't reply, but I do like to. Ruth is still talking about the solo things. Right, Richard says, okay, they're still talking about Ruth Ann. You've caused a furore. Everyone is now into your Green and Yellow albums. Charles is saying the CD does not match the other single CDs. You're talking about Free as a Bird and Real Love. What in what way? In the fact that it doesn't have like extra material on it, like like those two singles had stuff that wasn't on the anthologies. Is that what you mean, or are you talking about the cover design? I'm not sure where you're going with that, Charles. You can confirm in the chat, and we'll talk about it. Martin says, "Love the Stone songs that Keith sings. Would prefer Mick to have sung." I love that song. It's one of my favorites on the album. Love the Keith vocals. Just fantastic. I really do love that song. Henry says, the Beatles were at 29 million on Spotify. Now that the new song came out, they're at 31 million. Also trending on Twitter and TikTok. Shows how releasing just one song puts the Beatles back on top. Yeah, I did see that it was the number one song on Spotify in the UK. Not doing quite so well in the US. But it's early days yet. We'll see how it goes. You know, it's had a fair bit. It's had a fair bit of publicity. So let's see how it goes. Obviously there is less interest in the Beatles now than there was even back in the 90s when the other two singles came out. Because we're further away uh, from that time now. So we're still all here, thankfully. But a lot of people that were around in the 90s that would have been, going absolutely batshit crazy about that, are probably no longer with us. So there's the market is reducing, but hopefully young people are digging it and getting into it. So I hope so. I hope so, and I hope we'll get lots of new fans from these releases. Nick says Apple are going to put an instrumental version on the B side. Yes, I saw that. That was what Miles Scholes said. Miles Scholes, who sold them the idea of using "Love Me Do." Yes, he said that. There's a video out on YouTube. I think it's Steve Westman's channel. There's a really good interview with Miles Scholes, who is one of the pressing engineers at Abbey Road, who had obviously heard this before it came out, and he was talking about what he heard and how it blew him away when he first heard it. And he said that the original idea was to put an instrumental of Now and Then on the B-side, but it was his idea to put Love Me Do on there to get the first single, last single thing, which, in retrospect, is a great idea. Stephen A. Hi, Stephen. Yes, Love Me Do source is correct. Master tape gone. Yes, it was. It came from a very good copy of the single. Ruth Ann says, hello, Peter Jackson. Can I just say Star Club? Can I just say Stokel? Can I just say Hollywood Bowl? Well, you know what? Hollywood Bowl has already had a remix. I mean, the 8 days a week thing. But no doubt the demixing process could make it even better. Star Club, I'm less interested in the Star Club tapes. I think with what we've got is good, and the quality of it that we've got is not great, but it's even better. It's better than the Stowe School quality. That is just. I don't think that even Peter Jackson, with the best will in the world, can do anything with that Stowe School gig, and I'm not sure that they would want it to, because they'd want him to, because it was a live performance. There are mistakes in it. I don't think they would want that coming out, to be honest. I don't know, but there's loads of stuff that he can do. There's loads of stuff that he can do. I mean, look at the video footage, how he cleaned up the video footage from the old Beatles videos that they used in the Now and Then video. Paperback Writer looked absolutely stunning. The Hey Jude on Peter Frost, Strawberry Fields. So there's loads that his team could do for us, for sure. Andy says emotional roller coaster. Yeah, absolutely. It has been an absolute emotional roller coaster. The funny thing is, I hate roller coasters, but I've really liked this ride that we've had this week, Andy. Richard's also the BBC tapes. Okay. We're getting a list of things that he can do. I mean, everyone will have their own thing. Two Legs podcast yesterday indicated that Free as a Bird and Real Love are going to be remixed with some kind of anthology anniversary release. They didn't want attention this week to be diluted with between the three tracks. Okay, fair enough. I haven't seen the Two Legs podcast yet, but I do watch all of them usually. But I just haven't been able to catch up with it yet. Okay, if they've got information on that, and I noticed that Andy has sent me a message which I haven't read yet, so I'm guessing he might be filling me in with that detail that you have just said. Right, okay. Henry said, I loved the instrumental part in the middle of Now and Then, quickly followed by because harmonies, it was beautiful. Yes, it was. Ruth Ann says, I'll Be On My Way is one of my favorite tracks, favorite songs. Yeah, it's a good one. It is a good one. David Jackson says, 2 new Paul books came out this week. Another Day by Pete Crisp and Fly Away Paul by Leslie Ann Jones. More expense. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen those. But I will be speaking to John Blaney, who very kindly sent me a copy of his new book, the songs he was singing, Volume 5, which covers Paul's solo career. Between 2010 and 2019, we were supposed to do an interview last week. We had some technical issues. We're hoping to set that up this week, so I'm going to be speaking to him. But I didn't know about those 2 books, and I am struggling to keep up with reading content at the moment. Henry says, if a 60-year-old band can cause this much popularity by releasing just one song, imagine if they never broke up. They would have been unstoppable. Yeah, well, we can't really surmise what would have happened if they had stayed together, whether they would have stayed together all this time, like the Stones. It's unlikely, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to know, what the general opinion is of the song. I can see lots of I think that the response from Beatles fans is kind of 90% positive. But I've asked a few of my friends that are not Beatles fans, what they think of it, and they say, yeah, it's a nice song, but they're not sort of blown away by it. And I think that's probably a reasonable reflection for non-Beatles fans. They probably think, yeah, it's okay, it's not horrible. There's nothing to dislike about it. But whether it would prompt them to go out and buy it is another question. We just have to wait to see. But I really do hope that this does pick up, get picked up by young people, and they kind of get into the band through this and go back and discover the rest of the Beatles back catalogue, and hope that they don't think that Paul ever sung lead vocals on God Only Knows. Ellen is here from Germany. Hi, Ellen. Ellen, you are the 3rd German to be on this live stream. So welcome. But I've not time. I have birthday near me. Are my family a great time? I'm not sure if you're saying that's your birthday. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you're going to a birthday party, have a great time. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. Kia says, I'll pay £70 for Driving Rain on vinyl. Okay, I mean, it may come down to that, Kia. I hope so. The price is dropping. It was when I first started looking for one. It was about 200 quid. I think I got mine for about 140. And Julia says she's picked up a really good one for $100, which is less than £100, isn't it? So that maybe you'll get one. Hope so. Keep looking. Maybe it will feature on my Beatley Tones Bargains of the Month video this month. We'll see. Secret Message says, trailer for Red and Blue album coming tomorrow. What do you think? Well, I didn't know that. But you know, I'm fairly excited about it, but I'm not as, you know, I'm not as excited as I was about the you know, about now and then. But obviously, if there's a trailer coming, I will watch it. David said, I've got my CD single, but my 7-inch single hasn't arrived, though I ordered it a week earlier. Bloody Royal Mail. So mine is come because I ordered mine from Beatles.com. It's coming, I think, via uh, DPD. I think they usually deliver through that. And I paid extra postage to get it guaranteed within 2 days, but I'm guessing that's 2 working days. So mine should by rights arrive tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Matthew said, I just bought my NM copy of Memory Almost Full vinyl for $200, 105. That's quite a good price for that one as well, which is also really expensive. Those albums that come from the CD era, and also the original Chaos and Creation, which I don't have. I do have a reissue on vinyl, so but I don't have the original on vinyl. That is also difficult to find as well. Stephen Gilmore is here. Hi, Stephen. Bit late to the party as watching the Rangers game. Oh, okay. Is that Queen's Park Rangers or Glasgow Rangers? Only joking. Only joking. Harry says someone on YouTube has spliced into yes, now and then the bit that they left off, the bit from the demo sounded pretty good. You know what? I think that's the right decision to cut that out. I think that he's slightly out of tune on that I Don't Want to Lose You bit. He's slightly off tune. And you know what? I don't think to have in the lyrics use you and abuse you is, you know, is fitting for today's climate. So I think they probably made the right decision. But a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's the best bit of the song." I don't think it is. I don't agree with that. So you know, I'm happy with what they done, and I'm not gonna nitpick about, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that, and they should have done the other. You know, as I said on my video, this it's not Strawberry Fields, it's not I'm the Walrus, it's not Eleanor Rigby, you know, it's not Let It Be or Hey Jude or any of these fantastic songs that the Beatles created during their heyday, and it's totally unrealistic to expect it to be at that level at this stage of the game. But and especially when you think about what they had to work with as well. But it's a good song. I'm happy to have it. You know, I like it a lot, and you know, where it will stand within the Beatles back catalogue, we can't, it's too early to judge because we've lived with all that stuff for decades and decades and decades. We've loved them over and over and over again. This we've only just had for a couple of days, so it's too early to judge where it would go in the Beatles back catalogue. But you know, it's definitely better than Yellow Submarine, isn't it? Right. Okay. Matty says, can't wait to hear what Paul do is serve yourself. Yeah, that would be. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Yeah. If you haven't heard "Serve Yourself," check it out on the Lennon anthology. It's a Lennon swearathon where he just basically takes the piss out of Bob Dylan, which is fun. Henry says something about the Beatles being talked about this much on social media because of Now and Then makes me happy. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's great having them back in the news. They're back on the telly, and obviously we're all over. I said we then. I said we being the royal we of meaning, you know, the Beatles. You know, all over social media. So that's great. As I say, my main hope for the, you know, I'd like it to be number. It'd be great if it got to number one. You know, I'm not sure whether it will. It just depends on what it's up against. But you know, it would be great if it got to number one. But the main thing that I want out of this is that I want it to pull in young fans. I want young fans to get interested in the Beatles and keep the legacy going. You know, and you know, just get into the band and you know, discover all this fantastic music that up to this point they're missing out on because of Taylor Bloody Swift. Right. Brett says absolutely tone. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Kia is saying, you say I can't see them doing another one, but with technology now, you could literally pull guitar parts from George's demo, vocals from John's demo. Yeah, you could, but um, you could put you the problem is with George's uh and John's demos, or even Paul's for that matter. The way that I feel about it is, you know, so I totally get, right, that when the Beatles were working band, um, you know, you didn't have to have all four Beatles on a track for it to be a Beatles song. You know, there's tons of them. There's loads of songs where there's either one, two, or three Beatles during the period up to 1970, and that it's absolutely fine for those tracks to be called the Beatles. That is fine. I think since the Beatles have split up, um, I think to be called a Beatles song, um, it's all four Beatles have to be represented on the song. That's how I feel about it. Because otherwise, then you could say things like, you know, "I'm the Greatest" is a Beatles song, or "All Those Years Ago" is a Beatles song. You can see where I'm going with this. So, you know, obviously you could take a George demo, and Paul and Ringo could then add their parts to it, but there'd be no John. So, you know, that to me, that wouldn't be a Beatles song. So what they could do, I'll tell you what, if they wanted to take it further, what they could do is, you know, we saw on Get Back, there was loads of, we saw them playing loads of songs together, all four of them, songs that haven't been released. There were loads of songs. The titles of the songs don't come to mind at the moment, but there were loads of songs, unreleased songs that they were playing during the Get Back movie. Now, during the Get Back movie, they probably didn't show them in their entirety. They just showed a snippet. But if the tapes of them doing that in their entirety existed, there's no reason why they could not, Paul and Ringo could maybe touch up their own parts, you know, and makes, you know, so, you know, if there's one of those songs where, you know, George's part is good, John's part is good, but Paul and Ringo's, you know, maybe they made mistakes, or you know, they weren't as good as they could be. They could touch them. That could be a possibility. But you know what? Paul and Ringo have got to have the inclination to do it. And while I think that Paul might have the inclination to do it, I don't think Ringo has. I think that he had to be talked into doing now and then. But or so he said right at the start. He said that he wasn't interested in doing it, and then he was talked into it by Paul. You know, that's why I said I can't see them doing another one, but there is possibilities. But I don't see John and George's demos as being the source of that. But if there's something in Get Back where all four of them are playing, you know, and they can do something with that, then yeah. And they feel like doing it. I just don't think they feel like doing it. And he says, what we need is a documentary about the making of the music video by Jackson, like he did with with the Lord of the Rings films. Yes, that would be really great. I'd love to see how he put that together. Great point, Andy. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. How am I doing? I'm way behind with the comments as usual. Harry says, interesting that the Beatles version of Now and Then drops at one stage from the key of D to D minor to so they could use because backing vocals. Yeah, it's such a great key change, and it's a very John Lennon key change as well. So yeah, so I like that. I'm glad they did that. The association with Peter Jackson will continue. He's on every Beatles fan payroll. Yeah, absolutely. He works exclusively for us. His film career is over. He is now the sixth Beatle. Charles says, I wish they released Bad to Me with Peter Jackson Magic Touch. Yeah, okay. Bad to Me. Yeah, it's a reasonable song. Spring Hill Jim says, do you know the story in Pauline Sutcliffe's book about her wanting Noel Gallagher from Oasis to finish off a Lennon Sutcliffe original from the Hamburg days, but Yoko wouldn't allow? No, didn't know that. Didn't know that. I didn't know that. But what if Stuart Sutcliffe is on it, what would they have recorded that on? I think I'm not sure if were they talking about finishing it, or maybe Oasis doing a cover of it? Maybe that would seem more likely. They did a cover of everything else, didn't they? Joke. I love Oasis. Kia says, Free as a Bird is such a great video, really clever idea, brilliant. Yeah, it's fantastic. Elvin says, don't forget Grow Old with Me. Paul and Ringo get overshadowed by the other song, Free as a Bird, and Real Love It Now and Then. Yeah, I'm not sure if they actually worked on Grow Old as Me during the anthology sessions, because I'm sure that that they weren't keen on doing that because it had already come out. It was a song that had already been released because it was on Milk and Honey. So I'm not sure if they even bothered working on that. But Grow Old with Me. I can remember the first time I heard it when I bought Milk and Honey, and I just thought when I heard that, I just thought if that song had been finished, that was a number one single for me. Such a great song, such potential in that song. It's such a shame that it never got finished. David says Paul could add lyrics to Cry for a Shadow and have another Beatles single. Yeah. Richard says, I love this renewed interest in the Beatles, but my wallet is screaming right now. Yeah, I'm totally getting that open wallet surgery, I call it. Ruthann says the same. Terry said, I really loved the Pete Best footage that appeared at the end of the video. Had no idea there was any footage from that era of the Beatles. No, me neither. And what I liked about it is how they followed on from that with the pictures that were going, that were coming. Were they coming forward or backwards? I can't remember. But rather than, because they got the young Beatles with in their leather jackets, but rather than doing those pictures going from when they were old to when they were young, they only went from that period, and then they got younger and younger and younger from that leather jacket period, which I really like, which I thought was a nice touch. Richard says, between the Revolver stuff, the Macca singles box, and John's RS Record Store Day box, and now this Now and Then stuff, shake my head. You're still talking about your wallet, aren't you? Ruthann says cassette, marble, 12-inch, all the different things. Get ready for debtors' prisons. Everyone is suffering. Why do they have to do it down in Brazil? Why do they have to do it right by Christmas? Kit is saying, back in Brazil, there lives girls' dreams of the future and far, far better world. Henry says, at first I disliked the cover for Now and Then, but now I heard the song, I kind of like the cover. It fits the song. Okay. It's positive vote for the cover. Henry says, I also love the part of the video where it shows John dancing in front of the orchestra, looking like he was conducting them. Dr. Winston O'Boogie is here. Hey, Tone, sorry I'm late. How are you? I'm good, thank you. You're not that late because I'm about an hour behind with the comments at the moment because I'm talking too much. I need to speed it up a little bit. Welcome. Glad to see you here. We've got 112 people on the stream at the moment, which I think is a record. I'm a 64-year-old American, and the Beatles provided the soundtrack for my entire life. Absolutely love this new song. Thank you very much, McCarthy. Great to hear from you. I think we all kind of feel the same way. David says, "Will Paul in a few weeks release Now and Then reimagined with new artists doing their interpretation of it?" Yeah, okay. Get your point. Laura says, "Just heard them playing. She loves you at the Miami Dolphins game in Germany." Oh, really? Okay. I love that we various Beatles fans are able to connect from all over the world. It is wonderful, in my opinion. I agree, Richard. That's why I wanted to say it in my video, because it's one of the things that I love best about doing this channel. Love connecting with people from all over the world. And he says David Bowie took the photo of John, and it's from Japan. I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Are we talking about the sunset thing? Oh, sorry, I missed Julia's comment. Oh no, that's a talking to each other. Glenn has received his 7-inch single and say it felt special playing the new Beatles single on my turntable. Yeah, just like the olden days. Henry says, "As much as I hate it to be true, this is almost certainly the last Beatles song. The end of the video shows that the Beatles bow and then fade away, basically saying the Beatles are officially over." That's how I read it as well. Richard said that fade away of the Beatles made me choke up. It was very powerful. Me too. It was really, really powerful, and it was a brilliant way to end the video. Harry says Lennon looking over his shoulder at old Ringo playing the drums behind him is very moving and convincing. Seeing them all together again, I found I might have a little something in my eye. Definitely, Mrs. Beatley Tone was chopping onions while I was watching that video for sure. I love that bit where John's turning around and looking at Ringo, and George is kind of going like that to Ringo as well. That was such a great moment. Charles says the EP released with Free, Love Now and Then, and Love Me Do with Jackson's video image on the cover. You never know. Okay, the anthology. Nathan says the anthology 30th anniversary is definitely on the cards in a couple of years. Keir says 60th anniversary, absolutely where it began. Great opportunity. Yeah, they've missed it. Jared says, "Hey man, love the channel. Thanks very much, Jared. When the new Red and Blue come out on vinyl, if you could compare them to the early pressings on vinyl, I would appreciate that." Well, that was my plan. I'm going to do a mix versus mix version where the mix has changed, but I wasn't sure whether it's fair to go back to do it against the early, I'm not sure. I don't have a first pressing of the Red and Blue album, but I think I got mine in 1976, so it might be a second or third pressing. I don't know. It's a 70s pressing, but I'm not sure whether it's fair to compare mix going back to that or the mix going back to the last best version of the song that we've had. So maybe compare it against for songs that were on maybe the One Album remix or the Yellow Submarine remix, or maybe even the past masters, even though that wasn't a remix, it was a remaster. But that's probably the best version of the song that we've got so up to this point. But I will be doing a comparison. Bob says, hi, Tone. Bob and I are here. Hi, Erin. Then I should be saying, have a great Beatle evening. Thanks for joining, Erin and Bob from California. Dr. Winston O'Boogie says, Tone, do you think? What did you think of the new mix of "Love Me Do"? Yeah, we have actually talked about that already, mate. But I think the remix is good. As I was saying, I don't think it's going to benefit from the demixing process as much as the stuff that is panned with vocals on one side, instruments on the other, because it's always been a mono recording, so it's always been in the middle, because you always hear the same out of both speakers if you listen on stereo to a mono recording. So I don't think it benefits as much, but I think that it's brighter. I think it sparkles quite a bit. The harmonica is great. The bass is great. Someone said that the snare drum was muddy. I didn't think it was. I liked it, and I liked the thing with the hand claps, in the speakers. Great. I thought it was good, but I think that we're gonna find better remixes on the Red album. Kemph is here. Hiya. He's going to buy me a beer in Liverpool if I go to the Beatles week next year. There will be a lot of new Beatles fans with Now and Then release and shortly the Red and Blue album. Let's hope so. Claudio says, I feel the bridge should not have been omitted from the final song. How do you feel about it? I'm okay with it. I think that the I Don't Want to Lose You is slightly out of tune. John is slightly out of tune on that. That could be the reason. I don't know. And there's a bit of there's a bit of la 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 in, and there's a bit of I think use and abuse you is not a thing to include in the lyrics in today's climate. I'm glad that was left out. I think that might have been the reason. It might I mean, they probably could have auto tuned John, but maybe didn't want to. But I think that Paul they couldn't use the la 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 in bit. Paul would have had to write some new lyrics. This is credited, I believe, as a John Lennon composition solely, not a Lennon McCartney. So I'm fine with it as it is. I don't mind that they've missed that out. I'm not sure that we're missing that much by it not being there. Richard says the more the merrier. Welcome to the show. Lee says, hi Tone. Hi Lee. I did say I wasn't going to purchase the Red and Blue again, but I went all in and grabbed the coloured versions. Loving Now and Then and the video. I shed many tears over the last few days. Yeah, well, they pull us in. Even though we've got it, they pulled us in. They pulled you in. You will love it when you get it. And glad you love the single and the video, and your views echo those of many Beatles fans. Buddy says, love the video more than words can say. Me too. Nick says, has he got an answer for us? Removing the symbols, I think it's an alternate video of Hello Goodbye, not Magical Mystery Tour, but I might be wrong. I think there are actually 3 versions of the Hello Goodbye music video. Okay. But did they not have the Sgt. Pepper suits on for all of them? I don't know. But if that's the info, then that is the info. Pablo Loves Vinyl says, hi Tone. Hiya Pablo. The Magical Mystery Tour footage is from the Seville Theatre 1967, just after Brian Epstein bought the place. Thank you for that information. Henry says, some people have been calling it mediocre or mid. It's a simple song, and it's meant to be a simple song. It's like people were expecting A Day in the Life or Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, I agree. I think it's unrealistic to expect another Strawberry Fields Forever at this stage of the game, but I'm very happy with what we got. Paul Cassidy says, "Hi Tone. The outage footage of them moving the cymbals and dancing is an alternative video from Hello Goodbye, which is available on the One Plus video, which I have." So I should have known that then, really. Okay, thanks very much for that. Buddy says that Ringo says, "I buried Paul" at the end of the song. Henry says, "I love how proud he is of the Beatles. He's really happy to secure their legacy." Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Nathan is saying cranberry sauce. Pablo says, "I bet you're also looking forward to Ken Womack's Mal Evans book." Yes, I am. Dino V is here. Hiya, Dino. I went to the Now and Then listening party at the Liverpool Beatles Museum. On my table, both women were crying and the room had many tears. Yeah, I bet. Yes, I think my friend Eddie Miles was there as well. And yeah, great to, I bet it was great to have been there for that. Henry says, "Do you think McCartney 3 was Paul's best album?" No, I don't. But I like it a lot. It took me a long time to like it, but no, it's not his best, but it's, it's somewhere maybe mid-teens or something like that ranking, or just outside the top 10 maybe. Martin says, "Do you think Paul will do another album?" Almost certainly. I think he will. Scapina says, "Hi Tone, Posty has just delivered the CD single. Still waiting for the blue vinyl. Greetings from sunny Medway." That's in Kent. Hiya there. Glad you got your single. Elvin says, "I think Anthology would be expanding and restored footage, not remixes." That is the most likely scenario that I see. But what about Free as a Bird and Real Love? Will they get a remix because they deserve one? Martin says Pepperland deserves an official release. Elvin says, "I think Anthology will be expanded and restored." We've already had that one. We've had that one already. Matthew says, "George Harrison had no say on the songs that appeared on the Best of George Harrison compilation." The compilation, yes, it was. It was. But what the point I was making is that, we've had, to Ruth Ann's, comment, that we've had Beatles and solo stuff mixed on an LP before. Keir is saying, "I'm not knocking Macca, but he knows what he's he knows what he's doing." He does. He does. People that come on and say, "Oh yeah, well they should have done this and they should have done that. Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that?" Look, Paul's been doing this a long time, and like Keir says, he knows what he's doing. Martin said, I love that tone, young Michael." Yeah, we're talking about on on Canadian Stud Muffin and Matthew Street's live stream. I was absolutely wetting myself, I have to say. It was really, really funny. Really, really funny. I'm sure it's true. Keir Peel's brilliant business mindset, not just business, but fantastic musical mindset as well. Keir says he is the ultimate PR man. Success isn't just down to the music, it's how you are seen. Yeah, that is absolutely true. And that is true in all walks of life as well. Tone, could you do a Sparks dance, please? You the man, Tone. Like that, something like that. Right. Okay. If they don't do all the anthology tracks, they could remix the Decca stuff along with the songs done with Tony Sheridan. That would be good, which Paul would do. Cry for a Shadow, a tribute to John and George. Yeah, they could do. I think we can probably safely say that if they could create something that sounds this nice from that demo, there's probably a good chance that they could do stuff with with Decca, even some of that you know, some of that stuff that's on Anthology, you know, that'll be the day and all that sort, all that stuff. In spite of all the danger, you know, they could maybe do something with that. Maybe. Who's next? Beatle Dave. Beatle Dave. Talking of the video, I think Pete Best should get a shout out for giving the footage of the early Beatles in their leather gear in Germany and the Cavern Club. Yeah, I mean, I did mention it in my video, and Peter Jackson talked about it as well. And although I don't think he gave them the footage. I imagine that they paid for it. I'm not. I don't know for a fact, but I'm just guessing that he didn't actually donate it free of charge. Martin says, Tony, you're trying to keep up better with the comments today. yeah. I'm trying. Well, I'm only 44 minutes behind now. Well said, Beatle Dave. I think it was his brother. Yes, it was actually Rogue Best, but I think it was Pete's tapes, but I think it was Rogue Best that did the deal. Henry says, Tone, I'm sure you already know, but a Mind Games box set was announced for 2024. Thoughts on them skipping sometime in New York City? Yes, Mind Games has been announced. I'm treading cautiously with that because sometime in New York City was announced as well. There was a website for, you know, up for it and everything as well. We thought we were going to get it. I'd be very happy to get Mindset Ultimate Mixes box set. I think it'll be great, and I really hope it happens. But I'm really disappointed that they didn't do sometime in New York City. I know it's not his best album. In fact, it's probably his worst studio album. But I think it's a really interesting period in John's career. And the thing was that there was lots of activity as well. They could have included the one-to-one concert remixed in the box set as well. And also he did some other live performances, John Sinclair rally and other stuff as well. So I think it was a real missed opportunity. So I'm really sad that they didn't do it. Really, I think they lost their bottle about it, and probably didn't think that they would sell enough copies to warrant the manufacture of it. But you know, loads and loads of Beatles fans would have bought it. So I'm sorry that they have skipped that. But my main thought is, you know, we've got so few John Lennon albums, you know, studio albums, that we can't really afford to lose one of them. So I don't want sometime in New York City, you know, brushed under the carpet, regardless of what you think about it. I think it was an important, you know, it was an important step in John's career. Matty says, good day from down under. Good morning to you, Matty. I loved the cleaned up clip of John and George at Shea Stadium in Now and Then video. Maybe we'll finally get an official release. Yes, I hope so. Yeah, and the key part was where it was placed, because it was placed just after the words "I miss you," and then the next clip you then saw was John and George messing about at Shea Stadium. So yeah, that was really good. Beatle Dave says, I remember a few years ago there was a bootleg CD called The Green Album. Yeah, I've heard of that as well. I think it was called 71 to 75, but I never got it. Yeah, no, you don't really need it. If you've got all the solo stuff, then you don't need it. But Wink says, we're living in a new Beatlemania. The song is massively popular on New York radio right now. I've heard it on my local classic rock station maybe 100 times already. That's fantastic news. Matthew says, I thoroughly enjoyed Paul's Melbourne concert. Yes, we did the thing with Boy, and he said it was fantastic. It does sound like Paul was on really good form on the Australian leg of this tour, and has benefited from his voice, has benefited from the rest. So that is really great news. I'm just hoping that he announces some UK dates very soon and some European dates as well. Dino says, if Now and Then and Red and Blue reach #1 in the UK, it'll be the first time since 1969 that the Fabs have done the double. That would be amazing. I didn't realise that statistic, Dino. So thanks for pointing that out. That would be quite incredible, wouldn't it? Great single and album double. Not that many bands do that, do they? A single and an album simultaneously #1. Henry says, I was born in 2002. You are a youngster. You are. I didn't realize you were a youngster. I think I was kind of put off by your profile picture, which you don't look that young in that. Maybe you do. I don't know. A lot of my generation, the Zoomers, love the Beatles, including me. The Beatles have carried down every generation and will always be relevant. Yeah, that is great, and thank you for being so active on this live stream, Henry. Yeah, it's great that we have got we've got fans from your generation into the band, and you know what, someone somewhere in the world is going to hear Sergeant Pepper for the first time tomorrow. And then there'll be someone else who's going to hear it for the first time the day after, and the day after, and the day after that. So, it's happening all the time. Lars says Stove School would be great, I think. You know what? I think that Stove School is important from a historical point of view. I can't imagine, however much they clean that up, that I would play that very often if they put it out. I'm quite happy with what we've got. We've got the tape of it. I'm okay with that. To be absolutely honest, that is just my opinion. Historically, it's very important. Musically, much less important. Lee says, George's contribution is subtle but beautiful. This funky little electric guitar riff he feels at 1 minute 40 is already classic. It balances out. George is all over Free as a Bird and Real Love. Yes, it is. And I think that there's a bit in the documentary where Paul says, listen to what George is playing. Listen to what George is playing, and I'm sure he's talking about that sort of. He's playing. I think he's playing like he's like picking the strings of the of the chords and or sort of chugging. I'm not really sure what the proper guitarist talk would be for that, giggling or something like that. I don't know, but he, that's what he seems to be doing in that. Oh, of course, he's playing acoustic guitar throughout the song as well. The Real Jackson says someone on YouTube did a retro Beatles on Ed Sullivan show singing Now and Then. It is very well done. I'm sure it is. I just can't be bothered with this. I don't like stuff that's not real. That's just how I feel about it. George only recorded acoustic guitar in the 90s. The lead guitar was newly recorded by Paul as a tribute. Yeah, the solo was, but he does play some electric rhythm guitar on the track as well. Elder Nicholson says, hi, Tone. Do you know how the single chart operate? I gave up on the once Oasis split. I think it was a bad move releasing the song on a Thursday, though, as charts run from Friday to Friday to Thursday. Yeah, well, the physical single came out on the Friday. It was just the streaming. I don't really know how it works because, when you say Oasis, yeah, probably about the same for me as well. Sort of really stopped, watching Top of the Pops or taking any notice of the charts. Really since the sort of the Britpop, the sort of mid-90s or whenever, that not really interested these days. In those days I could, when I was a kid, I could tell you the whole top 20 off the top of my head in order. Now I couldn't even tell you what the #1 single is right at this very moment. I don't really know how they work. I mean, I think they take in downloads. I think they take in streams, and they take in physical sales as well from certain retail outlets. But I don't really know. We're just gonna have to see how it pans out. Charles says the old CD jewel cases, the new ones cards. Ah, right, that's what you're saying. It's a card one, yeah. I actually prefer those sort of digipack type things to the old jewel cases. But yes, I see that it doesn't match. Oh well, never mind. Joe says, Joe, USA Beatles fan since February 1964. That'll be the Ed Sullivan, I think, was probably the thing that turned you on. Great to have you here, Joe, from the USA. Maz is here. Breaking up was the best thing for their legacy. Leave the audience wanting more. Old show business slogan. Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see Mazzy here. Thanks for joining. Yeah, treat them mean, keep them keen. I think is the expression. But yeah, obviously that does. A normal expression, not necessarily showbiz, but absence makes the heart grow fonder is another one that could be, relevant as well. Jimmy Nickel likes pickle says, still waiting for my 10-incher. Fanar. Dr. Winslow Boogie said, I watched Rachel's show the other day. She was in bits watching the video to Now and Then. Yeah, I bet. I've been so bad. I haven't watched hardly anyone's videos from from Wednesday going forward. It's just been so hectic. I will catch up with Rachel's videos. I do I pop in from now and then. Now and then. I'd pop in now and then to Rachel's show. And just sort of sit in the peanut gallery and not always comment, but I do watch for a little while. And I do need to catch up on people's videos. But yeah, I can imagine. Nick is here. Hi, Nick. The comments on Now and Then in Germany's newspaper, Frankfurter Allgemeine, are despicable. I will react to them. I don't know what they are, but okay, I'll take your word for it. Eddie is here again. This past week's been fantastic. Hopefully the Beatles will end up at number one with Now and Then. I'm glad they didn't go for the Christmas number one spot and got pipped by Bob the Builder. Yeah, having the Christmas number one in the UK does not hold the prestige that it did in days gone by, because for years and years and years, everywhere else probably has their own X Factor show, but we always had the X Factor leading up to Christmas, and invariably the winner of the X Factor would be their single would be released the week before Christmas, so it would be number one for Christmas. So it's not that prestigious anymore. A number one any time of the year is great to have, I guess. Everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know what the newspaper in Germany said. If you've got an English translation for that, that would be fantastic. Jimmy says it is number one in UK chart. Is it? I don't know. James is here. He says, good afternoon. Hiya, James. Martin said, if it's not number one, if it's number one, does it go to the one album? Yeah, someone else said that as well. Well, yeah. Yeah, will they have to re-release the one album with Now and Then on it if it goes to number one? Never miss an opportunity. Max said, having the Beatles back in people's consciousness again is amazing. Peace and love. We can never have too much of this. God knows we could do with it right now. Absolutely spot on hearing you, Mac. Henry said, Joe said on his live stream earlier that there was enough material for them to make a new Beatles album. Lol. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's a conversation. They could do a version of How Do You Sleep. John and George are both on that. Yes, yeah. Wouldn't that be the irony of ironies to have Paul playing on that? Okay, Terry says, I do think that given the passage of time, the fact that Paul and Ringo are now in their 80s, I can't see them working on any other Beatles material. Totally agree, Terry. Daniel says, hello from San Francisco Bay Area. Hiya, Daniel. I've been to the Bay Area. I'd love to know the story behind the great BBC sign behind you. This one here. So this is an original BBC, live on air sign that they used to put up so people didn't walk across the stage when they were filming stuff or talk. Make sure that everyone was quiet in the studio. Mrs. Beatley Tone found this in an antique shop a few years ago, way before I was a YouTuber, and it used to sit in our lounge for a while. And I thought it would be great to use it when I do my live stream. So that is the story in its entirety of the of the sign. Matthew Boswell says, hello, Mr. Tone. Hello, Matthew. Did you happen to acquire the 10-inch of Now and Then? Any idea how many of the records were pressed? No, I didn't. I think I had enough. I bought 3 7-inches and a 12-inch. That's enough for me. So I don't know how many they pressed. Okay, the French, the French guy that we're not allowed to pronounce says, "Grow Old With Me," duet with Paul and Ringo, was officially released on Why Not, the Ringo album in 2019. Yes, it was. It was on that as well. But yeah, good. That's a good point actually. But obviously not with John. Right, his name is Philippe. Okay, we've got it. Okay, that is what I'm going to call you from now on, Philippe. Right, got it. Oh, that's a conversation. Elvin says, "Oh, yes, that's correct. Philip Grow with Me was on Why Not LP. I guess that there was no George parts, well, or John, so not a Beatles song." James said, "Good afternoon, Tony. Sorry I'm late. I'm still buzzing." Yeah, me too. Cranberry Sauce says, hello, Beatley Tone. I wonder what your thoughts are on how it was only Penn Gillette who let us know about the red and blue, and it was true. Well, yeah. I mean, I did do a video on that when it happened, when Penn Gillette let the cat out of the bag, and being from the UK, although he did have a show, Penn and Teller, here. I never used to watch it, so I didn't really know much about him or whether he was a reliable source or not. But I thought it was weird that that he was given all that information by Giles Martin, and the fact that he came out and said it on a podcast, which was shut down fairly quickly after he said it by the Beatles camp. I wonder if Charles just forgot to tell him, I'm going to tell you this, but don't say anything. Maybe he didn't say that, and he thought he was able to talk about it freely. I don't know. But yeah, I did think it was weird that he had the information, and that was the only information that we got, that we were getting the Red and Blue album, and we went with it. We went with it big style. All us YouTubers all went with that information, and it turned out to be true. Right. Back Bacon Beer says, great name. I'm waiting for the free song EP entitled Reunion with Frisbird, Real Love, and Now and Then. Will it happen? I think a lot of people would like that, particularly if Free It As a Bird and Real Love are remixed. If they're not remixed, I don't really see the point. The Real Jackson says the Red and Blue album was the first physical vinyl Beatles I own. Me too. Martin says a new Beatles album, Henry, would that, how would that work exactly? Genuinely baffled. Yeah, I'm not sure how we would get a whole new Beatles album. Well, we won't. Let's just dismiss that completely. There isn't going to be a new Beatles album, so let's not talk about that anymore. Matthew says, how about a comparison of the new Red and Blue albums with the 2014 analog versions? Yeah, I could do that. I'm trying to decide what to do with crap, but I am going to be looking at mixed versus mix on that. So yeah, thanks for that, Matthew. Nick says, I have to leave. Thanks for the live stream. Thanks for being here, Nick. If you are still here, I can see I'm now about half an hour, 40 minutes behind all the comments, but thanks for being here. Terry says, do you know, Tony, if the Red and Blue were remixed for the original 93 CD releases? I still have those albums and the flyers that were handing out at Macca's Earl's Court gig. Now, I was at one of Macca's Earl's Court gigs in 90. Oh, no, I didn't. I wasn't actually. No, I wasn't. I was on holiday when he played at Earl's Court. So I went and saw him in Paris in 93. But I have those, the 93 Red and Blue albums. And I don't think they were remixed. They were all the takes from that, I think, were taken with the same mixes as were on the 1987 and 1988 CD releases, the original CD releases, I think. James Byers is here. Hi, Tone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, my friend. Glad to see you live again. Have I missed something from Julia? Because I can see that cranberry sauce is. Julia says, hang on. Julia saying, you're right. Penn was right. Still wish it was Rubber Soul though. Okay, and cranberry sauce is agreeing that it should have been Rubber Soul. Okay. James says, not in love with Now and Then. It's never going to be a favourite, but it has grown on me. The video, however, is perfect, a beautiful masterpiece. Yes, it is. And James, you know what? You know, it's too early. It's too early to say, you know, if it's grown on you a little bit, if it's grown on you a little bit already, just in 2 days, imagine how much it will have grown on you when you have listened to it for as long as you've listened to all the other songs. This is what I'm saying. You know, I think we know it's not. You know, it's not premium Beatles. It's not Strawberry Fields. It's not Let It Be. It's not I Am the Walrus. You know, it's not all. You know, all those fantastic songs. Julia, Blackbird, blah blah blah. Go on for hours. There are hundreds of them. We know it's not top level, but we don't know where it sits within the canon at this point because you know. You haven't heard it enough yet, is what I'm saying, and it may grow even more. James also says, do you think the Now and Then video was the next project Peter Jackson was working on, or is there still something else to come? I think there still might be something else to come. So we'll have to wait and say. I heard that he was looking at cleaning up some footage they had of them recording the White Album. I'm not sure how that works or fits in with anything, or it's just a standalone piece of work. You know, we'll just have to see. Dino says, P.S. One of the women crying at the Beatles Museum was Carol Ann. Back Bacon Beer says, imagine if other bands used the new tech to create reunion tracks. Sid Barrett, Pink Floyd, Brian Jones, Stones, Keith Moon, The Who. Possibilities endless. I think this particular technology, the Mao technology, is only available exclusively to the Beatles at the moment. And other bands have done it. I think Queen do a posthumous release after Freddie had died. I think they did an album they had some. I don't know if it was the same sort of thing or whether they just had some stuff in the can that he'd already worked on that they finished. I'm not sure if it was the same same thing. But yeah, it will be interesting where it goes. Mind you, the other bands have had, don't forget the Beatles did this in 1995, so the other bands have had plenty of time to catch up if they wanted to do this. It's not just now; it's then as well. Dino says record collector having a Paul McCartney special coming out very soon. If you're if you buy a record collector, I don't anymore. I used to buy it, but I don't buy it anymore. Richard said, got a run, Tone. Looking forward to your next content for the red and blue mixes. Be well, my mate. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Richard. I'll speak to you very soon. Harry said, I like to see a Beatles album containing all Beatles versions of songs, which eventually ended up on solo albums. Teddy Boy, All Things Must Pass, Give Me Some Truth, etc. Maybe an EP. I can't see that happening. I can't see that happening because we've got the finished versions of those songs. But yeah, it's an idea. Lon says, hi, Tone. My opinion, Apple, should remix Deluxe. Please leave me and through Rubber Soul first and have all the demos takes in on their respective albums. That is more important than anthology. I agree. Beatle Dave says, it's great how everyone is loving the new Beatles single. So much love out there for the Beatles. Yeah, absolutely. Not everyone is loving it, though. Not everyone is loving it. I had someone, on one of my comments saying it's effing rubbish. They said it in that voice as well. But there you go. People are entitled not to like it, but they don't. That's what I mean. Don't have to be abusive about it. Terry says we already have a couple of covers of Now and Then. One is by a Scandinavian singer in a folk style and is really good, and a symphony orchestra in Berlin performed a version of it. Yes, well, let's hope it. Let's hope it attracts some cover versions, because all that is is all extra publicity for the Beatles and keeps them in the frame. Martin says, see, when that magician spilled the beans on Giles Martin, I knew what he said was true. It made perfect sense and he was right. Yeah, you know what? I didn't. I thought, well, he's a magician. His job is to con people. That's what he does for a living. That was my immediate thought. But yeah, he did get it right, and yeah, we did go with it eventually. Senator Jim Dracula says, hello, Tone, just tuned in. I don't know if any of us mentioned it, but I'd really like them to use the Peter Jackson technology to bring out John's vocal on. Everyone has not stopped mentioning it. Right, we know. Let's draw a line. Should we just draw a line and say that we know that everybody wants them to demix Free as a Bird and Real Love and get better versions of that song? Let's take that as read. That we all want that. I see Beatle Bill is making a pigment. Yeah, and Beetlehead. Elementary Penguin percent Beatley Tone with the Beatley Room. Yes, that's what we are today. Bill Doe says, what about I think that's Rattle single, Then and Now. Yeah, I saw that. Charles said, Tone, another good show you put on tonight. Good work. Thanks very much. Storytime says, sorry if you already discussed it, but do you think Now and Then is better than Free as a Bird or Real Love? I'm not going to say at the moment, because, I've said this quite a few times, that I just think it's too early. We've had almost 30 years to live with those songs and love them. I love both of those songs. and I do consider them to be Beatles songs, as I do now and then. And I think Now and Then is really good. But we are all overexcited about it because it's new and it's fresh. The time it's got to stand the test of time. And we've you know in in a few years, when we've lived with this for a while, we'll kind of know where it ranks amongst the other Beatles songs. That's how I kind of how I feel about it. But I'm happy to say that I prefer Real Love to Free as a Bird, if that helps. And we've had that one. Neil Kelly says, "Good afternoon, Tone, from the Northwest Highlands, higher up there in Scotland. Love your channel. Thank you very much. I can feel another Beatles tattoo for Now and Then." Are you going to get a tattoo? Peace and love to you too, my friend. Tattoo. Philippe has got another comment. I don't want to make people angry or sad, but once Paul and Ringo will leave our planet, of course, there will be more projects with the name Beatles on it, especially if Paul leaves us first. Yeah, absolutely. And also, more McCartney product as well, of course. So, let's hope that day is some way off. Martin says, Tone, I'm missing the Liverpool game for this 0-0 with Luton. Thank you, Martin, for preferring me to Liverpool. I have to say, I'm really disappointed with the League Cup draw after beating Arsenal. That we've got to play your lot away, a place where we've won twice in 60 years or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, very disappointed with the draw. Martin says, I stand with John Deacon. No Freddie, no Queen. Yeah. Now this it's weird because I kind of agree. I do agree with that because I think that it's a kind of a different situation to the Beatles, because obviously they're not going out touring. But I can't accept Queen as a live act without Freddie Mercury. It just doesn't seem it doesn't seem weird. In the same way as I don't think we would never accept the Stones without Mick Jagger playing live, would we? If they got a replacement singer, no, that I agree with that. Cranberry Sauce says, in high school graduation yearbook 1973, I wrote, Beatles will always be the best. 50 years on, my opinion has not changed, and happy young fans are growing. Yeah, absolutely. Gregors is saying, I recommend Amelia Sohome cover. Sohome, is that pronounced Sohome? Cover of Now and Then, amazing. Darth Warren, he says, my copy of Now and Then, the marble vinyl looks like it has spindle wear, and it's brand new. Really? Well, I've ordered that one as well. I haven't got mine yet. I'm just going to turn this heater off because it's getting hot in here. Right, how are we doing? Oh, we're 2 hours 17 in. I hope I can get to all your comments, but probably going to finish around 6:30ish, I think. Harry's off. Thanks for being on here. See you next time. Thanks, Harry. Henry says Adam Lambert Queen can't hold a candle to Freddie. No. Terry says, do you think YouTube may well crash under the weight of unboxing videos after November the 10th? Yeah, it could well do that, but you won't be able to move for unboxing videos. Obviously, I will be doing mine if mine comes on November the 10th, which I'm very much doubt based on the form of the singles. Dino says the Johnny Walker show on BBC Radio 2 had Leslie Ann Jones on it talking about her new Paul McCartney Fly Away book. If anyone wants to listen to that, you can probably catch that up on BBC Sounds if you can get access to it. Charles says, how the hell you're not horse reading all these comments? Well, I'm just doing my best. I'm okay. I'm taking a drink. I've had more drinks during this live stream than Paul McCartney does during a 3-hour live show. That's for sure. Uh, Senator Jim Dracula says Lowell should have known, serves me right for showing up late. Okay, so no worries, no worries. Just ask what you want, and I'll do it. Martin says it's 1-0 to it's 1-0. It's 1-0. Is that 1-0 to Luton? 1-0 Luton? 1-0 Luton? Seriously? I thought you were watching this. David Barron says it was Made in Heaven. That was the album. That was yeah. He left for the rest of the band. Left the rest to work on after he died. Released the same time as Free as a Bird on Anthology 1. Gina says Queen finished Made in Heaven with tracks partially recorded by Freddie Mercury. Dino says, according to Giles Martin, no more Beatles albums have been remixed since Revolver. Yeah, you know what? We kind of thought that it might be Rubber Soul because I'm sure he mentioned during the sort of the pre-Revolver or the post-Revolver interviews that he did that they were considering combining Revolver and Rubber Soul in the same box because they weren't sure they had enough sort of outtakes to give them a separate box each for those, and that kind of led people to assume that that Rubber Soul would, all right, if he said that and they've now done Revolver, then Rubber Soul will be the next one, or assume that because we're at Revolver we'd be working backwards, but we were never promised Rubber Soul. Everyone is still assuming Rubber Soul is going to be the next box set, and it may not be. It may not be. It makes much more sense to me for it to be Please Please Me or With the Beatles, and those are two albums that are really, really going to benefit from the demixing process because they are only two tracks. Okay, where are we? Beetle Boy. Thanks, Tone. See you next time. It's been great. Thanks, Beetle Boy, for being here. Lovely to have you on here. David Healy is here. Not sure why the video is getting flack in certain quarters. Loved it. Laughing and crying at the same time. It's very difficult. Look, people will have an opinions on everything. If if you show someone a screw, they'll say there's not enough threads on it. Do you know what I mean? People will moan for the sake of moaning, but people are entitled to not like it. Although I find it difficult to find something not to like in that video. It's just human nature. People like to find a negative angle on everything, and that usually reveals that they've got a sort of a dark side in their psyche. I don't know. I don't know. But people are entitled to their own opinions, I guess. Cranberry Sauce says, I listened to the single only once when it was released on YouTube. Looking forward to when the vinyl arrives tomorrow. I hope yours turns up. I hope that mine turns up as well, because I want to hear it as well. I want to hear it on my proper stereo hi-fi system in the house. Because it will sound much better than the streaming, I'm sure. Terry says, I just want to say thanks, Tone, for this live stream, all of your vids, and for keeping us up to speed from when Now and Then was first announced. Much appreciated, mate. My pleasure, mate. I try to keep on top of it, and it's been a fun ride. I'm kind of glad that that is all over now, and we can kind of get back to talking about other things. Once we've gone through the red and blue, but my pleasure, mate. Not just me, but all the other YouTubers have all done a fabulous job as well. So yeah, thanks very much. For saying that, Terry. It's really nice of you. Philippe says, Beatley Tone, on this live stream, you passed the audition. Thank you, Philippe. We've been on 2 hours 23. Okay. Henry says, hope we get to see Stuck Inside These Four Walls again soon. Yeah, we are gonna. We've just been talking about it. It's been put on hold because Tom has moved. So we are talking about doing the next episode. So hopefully that'll be soon. We were going to do one on the night, like a live one I did it, but live one on the night the documentary came, and it was a kind of a Stuck Inside These Three Walls, but because Joe couldn't make it because he was traveling to Oklahoma, so we did that. But there will be a proper Four Walls very soon. So Jim Dracula says, great time today, Tone. Back to my projects before the wife kicks my ass. Looking forward to your future videos. Thanks for being here, Jim. Thanks very, very, very much. And you have a good rest of the weekend, mate. Lars says, it's been an intense week. Thanks for all your efforts. Thank you, Lars. It's been really hectic, but you are welcome. It's been a fun ride. Beatle Dave says, Tone, I've got to go now. Thank you for a brilliant live stream. Cheers, Dave. See you soon. I've still got some videos to catch up on your channel, but I will be there soon when it all sort of quietens down. Thanks for being here. Always good to speak to you, mate. David Barron says Liverpool have just equalised at Luton. For any Liverpool fans or Luton fans that happen to be here. Cranberry sauce. If I graduated from high school now, I'd have to write Beatley Tone is the best Beatles YouTuber. Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to be in your yearbook. Okay. Matthew says, bye, Tone. Thanks for a great chat. Thanks, Matthew, for joining from Australia. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks for being here, Matthew. MBT says, thoroughly enjoyed this. You are an icon of the people. Thanks very much, MBT. I'm not sure about that. Back Bacon Beer, been a Beatles fan since 1963 when Capital Canada released Beatles singles albums. Great to have a first generation Beatles fan here. David Healy says, only just got in and found out about the live stream. We'll have to catch up now. Did not get a notification. Okay, have you got the little bell thing clicked, Dave? If not, do that, and then you'll get a notification of whenever I go live or whenever I drop a video or whatever. But I did a community tab as well for this. Anyway, to ensure we get them, thanks for doing this. All the best. Thanks very much, Dave. Thanks for being here. Armin, great live stream, Tone. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to your red and blue unboxing and reviews. Thanks, Armin. Thanks for being here from Munich, Germany. Dino says, bye, Tone. Thanks for this highly enjoyable live stream in what is a historic week. It really has been for the Beatles and all their fans across the universe. Thanks for being here, Dino. And thanks for your contributions to this live stream. It has been a really historic week and a really emotional week and a fun ride and a very hectic week as well. So thanks, Dino. Eddie says, another great stream, Tone. Thanks for an entertaining Sunday afternoon. You are welcome, Eddie. I did say that you sent me an email and I will respond to it as soon as I can. Have a great rest of Sunday. Great result yesterday, 6-1. 6-1. And Arsenal lost as well. See you soon, Eddie. Pamela says, brilliant. Thanks, Tone. You are welcome. Okay, that is it. It looks like we have finally reached the end of the comments. Thank you so much, everyone who has been on this stream and contributed to the stream. And even if you haven't contributed and you just sat in the background lurking and reading everything and you've been on the stream, thanks very much for your support. Really appreciate it. That is all going to be all from me for today. We'll do another one soon, maybe after the red and the blue have dropped and we've all taken in what what we've got there, maybe we'll have a little chat about that. Okay, thanks very much, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.